Hello, welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Ben, glad to have you all here. Um, we're going to talk about what everybody thought about the past shipwreck, and maybe we'll see the CM diary. Um, Things have been dropping later and later in the day recently, so no assurances that this will happen, but that is our hope. But let me introduce everybody from left to right. Magic Mike. Okay, take the tape off the microphone, Mike. All right.
Or not.
Lady Cat.
Hello.
Hello. Jeff
Hello.
and Aussie.
Good morning, everybody.
And this is Hefe. Mike, are you back? I guess not. Okay. Let's let's get started with the slides. And see, quick little bug fixes. I think we had this last week too. Didn't they fix it for the iOS last week?
Well, they did say they did.
Yeah, maybe they actually did it this time. I'm not certain what's going on. But yeah, anybody in chat, let me know if you see the CM diary pop up because it's useful, especially for the calendar and what's upcoming. So it's a good thing to talk about. And sort of boring on the bug fixes, so let's move on to the next one. Uh-oh. Is there another click here? There we go. We finally got the information, at least if you can get it in your shipyard. There wasn't actually an announcement anywhere. They haven't made massive changes to the hydrofoil plating 2, which is the armor for your silverfish, but they did reduce the repair duration from 22 and a half minutes down to 1 second, which makes it marginally more useful. It's still it's quite chunky at 1250 relative to some of the other armors that you could be putting on your ship. I already have them on my 3 on my flag and the ship I put in the 5th position along with a CT 7 armor. But I'm not really sure what I'm gonna, if I don't know what to do because I don't think we're gonna see D7X in pillage because that'll be limited, and they don't usually introduce limited stuff in the pillage. So, what does everybody think about the hydrofoil plating 2?
I'm glad they reduced the repair time, but I didn't put it on partly because of repair time. And now when I look at putting it on, pushing my weight limits, so I'm not going to get all of them on. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, same thing. I never put it on mine either because of the repair time.
Yeah, but it's also the weight is
The weight is killing me.
Yeah, because the D6X is 125 tons, and the D7 CT I think is like 450 or 489, something like that.
Yeah, 489, yeah,
Yeah,
and 125, yeah.
Yeah, this is 1250. So aren't we better off, other than the evade, aren't we better off using the limited armors?
It seems that way. I mean, unless they change that mechanism where the first and the last ship get hit, and that's why I put it on those ones along with the D7 CT. But yeah, I don't see a real role for it in your 2, 3, and 4 slots because of the weight.
So you're really only going for the extra evade?
Yeah, and a chance that having a mixed you can get 4 of these on in 24 hours. The D6X, it's like 26 hours or something like that per plate. So it has less than a fourth of the build time. So if people trying to catch up or have a stress on their shipyard, I could see that as being one reason. But it's really difficult to get a full build with that 1250. Especially try to put 4 on them. I can see putting maybe 2 on.
I got 2 and 2 on mine.
On all your ships? Okay.
No, just on the flag.
Okay.
And it's built out, and evidently it made weight.
Okay.
Hang on, just have a look. Yeah.
Yeah. The way it seemed to have worked is if the only reason to put it on 2, 3, and 4 is if they change the mechanism of how we're shot at, where the accuracy-based weapons, the torpedoes hit you. And some people were seeing it hit 2 and 4 at times. So I'm not sure if that's due to some sort of lag issue or really how to explain that portion of it.
Yeah, I tried to ask in Discord if they were going to change any of the mechanics of how anything works, and nobody from Kicks answered, but other people said they never change the mechanics. They'll change the targets and the strengths maybe, but not the mechanics.
Well, they don't always do it intentionally. But that when did that 1 in 5 thing start? It used to be all in one at the beginning of the last skirmish raid, where everything was going after your flag. Like if you had bat rays, all the accuracy-based weapons, the torpedoes, were hitting your flag. And then somewhere along the way during that raid cycle, it started hitting your first one and your fifth one. That's when something changed, and we're not even certain if that was intentional or accidental. We weren't really. It was never announced as a change.
Right.
See, I can only get one on mine.
Okay.
And any more than that, it goes over weight because I'm at 39739 with one. So I don't know what I'll have to do to fix that.
Hopefully, we won't need any more bait than what we've already got.
Well, on your middle ships, yeah. I mean, the 2, 3, and 4 ships don't really need evade, and they don't really need concussive. It'd be nice if we had the D7X out. Okay.
Yeah.
He has ghosts or children. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's
Hold the
no
baby.
problem.
I'll mute myself. I forgot he was in my arms.
It's no problem. We just weren't sure if it was a ghost or a baby. We weren't, could have gone either way with that noise. So, any more on hydrofoil plating 2 and how you may use it, not use it, or are we done with that one? Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, the assault skirmish calendar. Right now, we're expecting the CM diary any moment now, and we have an FM this week that just started, and we also have 2 TLCs that we'll get into later in the show. Next week, we should expect pillage, but an odd change of not having a Forsaken mission, which is normally only occurs during raid weeks, that they skip over the Forsaken mission. Followed by a raid the following week. This is the last raid where your skirmish halls your silverfish will be the preferred haul. We're going to get one of the prizes is going to be a tier 8.5 siege hall. Then we go back to the regular Forsaken mission VXP weekend type of thing. So
was all this confirmed? I guess
everything but the VXP weekend and the Forsaken mission. I added that last week on, just because it always does that. But yeah, they confirmed 9.31, 9.32, and 9.33. The no Forsaken mission is subject to change because a lot of people have been complaining about it.
You reckon?
It's just never really happened before. It's sort of this. Okay, well, we're gonna add a week on, but we're not gonna have an FM because we just don't want to.
Well, yeah, what's the reason for no Forsaken mission? I can't think of a reason.
Because they don't want us to have the tokens or the limited items.
Right.
Yeah. But we're going to be pretty stocked on most of those limited items. So I'm not really sure the reasoning behind it. Besides the fact that a lot of them are seem to be fairly new, and just don't quite understand the history of it. Or
because I'm doing so many updates and not refits, it really doesn't hurt too bad because I couldn't have used the build tokens anyway because I'm in the middle of upgrade cycle.
I'm upgrading too.
And so I'm going to have the full set of tokens waiting for me during the raid. And when I saw that, I was like, well, now I don't have to figure out what to do with that other set.
yeah, and Ben and chat provided a good piece of advice that I usually provide a week from now relative to a raid, is to try to save your tokens for that Siege 8.5 haul to get out by VXP weekend. Because we have that week that's been skipped. It throws our schedule off as far as when you save them, because going into a raid, you want to have a full stock of 2 days, 2 1 days, and your elite and legendary chest storage, so you have the maximum amount of generic tokens that you can normally hold. So
Yeah, I've already got a full thing of them. So my chests are full and I've got them all stocked already.
So what is the maximum?
I'm already in trouble.
You can hold. What is the maximum you can hold then?
2 of each.
Yep.
And then obviously one chest.
Yeah. Two 2 days, 2 1 days, and then
And chest. One chest each.
Yeah, and don't forget that you could open a chest and get two days in it.
Yeah.
Or if you're really lucky.
Yeah, I've heard a legend of there being an even better one, but I have lost tokens because of the 2-2.
Yeah,
I have to.
I've always historically, anybody in my alliance that got a 7 and 2, I've typically booted them from my alliance because I'm assuming that they're a hacker in some way.
So is the answer 6 days in your base and 4 waiting to be opened, assuming 1 and 2.
Well, yeah, and then the 2 chests to be open, so you could have
Legendary.
1 and a 2, so 5. Because in the legendary you normally get a 2 and a 1, and then in the elite you get a 2, so it's 5 more, so 11 days.
11 total. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but then also don't forget you've got that one ship build token in P3, is it?
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, and you have to use that. That's the one you have to use.
Yeah, you can't skip that one. Yeah.
And if you got a time problem, don't start the FM right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, my alliance mate just ran into that. They started too soon, and then they couldn't use the 1 day.
All right.
Yeah, that's making it tricky with some of this, especially the updates combined with the change in the normal schedule. They're making it tough on people that just do things because they heard to do them, but the reasoning behind all of it is I'm not going to start mine for a couple of days just to let updates occur. So we done with the calendar?
Yep.
Okay, let's see what's next. Uh-oh. Yeah, now we're going to talk about shipwrecks that had, at least for me, appeared to have some Jurassic mistakes. So,
really big ones or really old ones?
well, if you know where this little GIF comes from, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't worth watching more than once, but.
Okay.
So I'll go to the next slide. Or we want to watch it over and over again.
Well, I guess if we have any, we're going to talk specifically about. Let's leave it here for a second. On the next slide, we're going to talk specifically about personal and alliance payouts and leaderboards. One of the mistakes that a lot of people saw was the issue where players that were defending a shipwreck, if they won their battle, if they got hit back immediately, They weren't had a hard time repairing, and a lot of times they weren't even allowed to defend the shipwreck. And so there was some sort of glitch associated with it that was
Yeah,
impact,
that
impacting
happened.
the defender.
That happened to me.
Okay.
You couldn't join the battle. I mean, you hit repair and then but you got hit immediately, and you couldn't join. You could just sort of sit there and see that your ship was, fighting, but you weren't in the battle. So you're on auto. You can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, and these ships aren't meant to work on auto, so yeah.
right. So you just coined for nothing. Coined your repair for nothing.
Yeah, just to watch them die.
Yep.
And yeah, so I mean, how many weeks ago that they talked about, or weeks or months ago, that they talked about that they were going to insert a cooldown period in shipwrecks after you won the battle, and nobody ever saw it.
It's like a month ago.
Yeah, nobody ever actually saw this cool period actually take effect, and this might have been the reason behind it, because I remember Jordy was complaining that something like this was happening to him on the first big shipwreck event. So it doesn't appear to be a new issue. It's just potentially a more widely known issue. So
Yeah, so people are taking advantage of it.
yeah. Yep.
Then there was the hide underneath the shipwreck thing that was driving some people crazy. You couldn't attack them; they just got in under it in such a way you couldn't get a piece of their ship.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's a nice glitch.
Yeah, that's been around since the beginning.
Okay.
So 2 ways to avoid. Yeah.
Any other general comments on shipwrecks? Like I said, we're going to get into the points payout. But any other? I mean, we could talk. I guess at this point we could talk about how most people. I think Lady Cat, she was using shipwrecks. I think a lot of people were using the replica bases to get points.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
Wasn't fun, but
I didn't like. Sorry to switch back to shipwrecks again, but I didn't like the fact that there was people that had the newest one, and the newest one really outclasses, driven properly, outclasses just about everything else.
Yeah.
Well, and then there was the problem with like 18 hours into the raid, they made you the ability to
Build 3 of them.
Yeah, buy 3 of them.
Buy 3 of them for $35. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ran into those people, and they're like, "Okay, goodbye."
Yeah, I quit. I quit coin repairing after that.
Okay.
I didn't like that because they're supposed to. It wasn't meant to be a class of ship, like a tier 8 versus a tier 7. That means they're not building this newest.
Okay. I'm getting a weird message. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay. That was odd for a GIF. It says this hang on air will end if you continue broadcasting content you aren't authorized to use. Which is odd for a GIF. I didn't think.
Oh, yeah, they're using Google Vision now to basically detect proprietary.
Yeah. Wow.
Images. Amazing.
Okay. So yeah. So didn't end yet, but I might be in trouble with the show. We'll see. So
You are a pirate now.
yeah. I thought a little GIF like that wouldn't cause an issue, but I guess it did with them. So we can keep on. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we didn't get in trouble.
We were just talking about how the new ship, it kind of outclassed all the 3 previous ones, which is not. It's not a normal progression. Like they were meant to all. Is it really meant to be every ship they put out is better than the one before it? Like tiered, like tier 4, tier 5, tier 6.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much. Well, I don't know because I didn't get it, so I didn't look at it close enough. I don't know how much better it was, but
It was fast, but it was faster than the Striders. So the Striders' claim to fame was being a little faster and sort of kiting and dropping mortars. These
Yeah,
things could run them down
the
and
frigate-
shoot and
yeah,
kill them.
Well, except for the frigates were taken. I was watching battles with the frigates, and they seem to do a pretty good job with the against the new ship because they're faster and had some range on them. So maybe it's because they made the Strider sort of like the cheap ship because it was only to build the whole thing was only 24 hours, while it's like 2 days and 14 hours for all the other ships. So maybe the Strider was sort of a discount ship. I'm not certain.
Yeah, maybe I just didn't adjust fast enough because Strider owned the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And then now this one owns the Strider. So maybe it's a bit of rock, paper, scissors, which I shouldn't really object to.
it kind of is. Yeah, if you watch the Striders go after, if you have Striders and you attack frigates, and if the frigates were defending, they could run away from the Striders, and you can never get close enough to hurt them. And that was in the P4 targets and the A4 targets. They could just run away, stay out of the way. They just had to survive for 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, and I did see a lot of battles timing out where the frigates were trying to just get the right angle on the Striders.
Yeah.
Like take one shot from distance and then run away, and then get one shot. And I saw a lot of those battles were unintentionally timing out.
Right.
Like people were trying to do it, which does create the problem that if nobody wins at the end of it, if it times out, that nobody gets the prizes. But we talked about this on Friday, and I don't know that we ever got any answers associated with it because I think somebody was saying that they were still getting the prizes. So I don't know. But let me go through a little bit of what the point payouts were like. Just for the new content, it was 1.66 million points to get 6 of the interceptors and the skin and the thunderclap heavy rockets. I'm not saying that you need all these things or want all these things, but could you click one more time? Okay. So if somebody tried to do this as an individual, only one player was able to do this on their own. Even though Aussie did a great job and got 1.26 million, he didn't quite make it there. So, and he was 4th globally. But at the same time, you see players that are in some of doesn't even have to be the largest alliances, but the larger alliance, the top, I don't know, 10, 15. They were complaining on Discord that not just these prizes, but all the prizes, that they were ending up with more points than they could spend. While as an individual or through a small alliance, you didn't even have the ability to just get the new prizes. And I find this to be
Unbalanced.
yeah. I mean, it's what happened last time they did this, and they acted like they sort of acted like they were going to address it, but I don't see that they addressed it in any way. If only one player as an individual could actually just get just the new stuff, not the build tokens, not the other conquerors, defenders, and whatnot that were available to be bought, but just the newer stuff. It just feels like the economy was just way off, in my opinion.
And what's going to make it hard is now all those people that did get all that new stuff are that much better than those of us who didn't. So that power creep comes in.
Yeah. Yep.
Something that they didn't do, and someone did message me on, during the game, the actual skin. Right, obviously, I read the brief and I knew it was a skin, but actually in the prize list, it did not say it was a skin. It just said Royal Kicksart Interceptor. Now, the guy actually bought it, and he says, "Oh, I can't find it." And I said, "It's a skin." And he goes, "I just wasted 500,000 points." Because it didn't actually say the word skin in the prize list.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing. I mean, it is, if it does, well, if it doesn't have stats, it's not it's
Yeah.
But the other side is, it doesn't say for what ship.
Yeah, it just says Interceptor.
It's the Corsair, but
okay.
I
didn't pick it up. I didn't buy it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's the even though you were fourth globally.
Yeah, I didn't buy. I'm not spending 500 on a skin. What's it going to do for me? Nothing. Jesus, it's ridiculous. I better pick up tokens.
I had to ask.
I'm a token bitch.
Yeah. Okay. So so that was one problem I saw there, that many alliances just, you didn't even have to do anything, and you got more points. So I think some of these alliances, even if you didn't do anything, you got more points than the guy in first place, based on what people are complaining about and how many points they had left over and things of that nature, which just is, in my opinion, just complete bullshit. That just, people just sitting around and maybe logged in on Sunday did better than the person that ended up first globally. And I forgot to take a picture of the Alliance leaderboard. But yeah, well, I guess we'll hear more about this. Last time they did their Shipwrecks retrospective, and they pretty much did what they said. But I don't think it's really what the player, I think a large portion of the players wanted them to do, but they actually did what they said.
See, I still think they should do it on a participation basis. Yeah, if you're in an alley, you got to participate, and you get a percentage depending on the amount you participate within the shipwreck.
Yeah.
Instead of just logging on once, going, "Oh, look at that! I just got 1 million points, and I didn't do anything."
Yeah, or just turn down the amount of Alliance points way down. I mean, before it was, the Alliance targets were larger than the personal targets by a bunch, but now they were 25% less. But if you take 25% less and multiply it by 100, it's a lot of points. I mean, it still way outvalues the other one. Do something that where the person that actually hits it gets whatever those points are, and then maybe the Alliance payout is, I don't know,
25%.
I'm thinking lower. I'm thinking lower.
Yeah. All right.
You're dividing by 4, but then it gets multiplied by 100. I'm thinking way lower. I was thinking 4 or 5% as far as what the payout would be, because it's still going to get multiplied by 100. So, but I don't know. It already has so many problems that as far as the mechanics associated with it. And my issue with the shipwrecks is the fact that, and I said on Friday, I don't feel that anybody wins besides Kickstarter in the situation where, even if you are the winner of and especially in this case, if you are the winner of the battle, you are actually at a disadvantage because of the glitch associated with it. But even if the glitch is removed, you're not really at an advantage, because you still have to spend the same number of coins that the guy that just failed on you does. Unless I saw a couple of them where somebody was hitting people with the gluts and just clearing out the ships with the gluts and not taking any damage. taking out the interceptors. But normally the damage is somewhat comparable. So the winner and the loser both have to basically spend a couple of coins to get their ships back. So
You said it right. Kickslive's the only winner.
yeah, it's,
And that's why I don't do the shipwreck part of it. I only do the replicas.
yeah. There's no winner in this situation. So,
I mean, like I said on the pre-show,
mhm.
I watched a battle on a shipwreck, and I was only watching the second last segment. 11 fleets got sunk.
Well, I
Just
tried.
for one segment,
I tried
and
to.
that wasn't even the last segment.
I tried to do replicas, and the first day I kept getting sniped. People would either wait outside, or I mean, if I just left a ship out, if I tried to auto like the 82s, and I left a ship out somewhere while I was waiting for another one to finish, I get sniped. And the Conqueror ships take a lot longer than the interceptors to repair. So that's why I didn't do it the first day. And I tried to do that alley ones for the shipwrecks as much as I could. I did a couple of personal ones, but then I had to go back to doing the replicas. It was the only way possible for me to get any prize. So I was forced to do the replicas. I didn't want to. I didn't have a choice. If I wanted a prize, I had to.
Yeah, but okay, you sit in a shipwreck for what? What was the minimum? 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Right? I could do 3 106s in that time, so that's 15,000.
You could, but I could.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, I can do that, right? So there's no point in me going and trying doing a shipwreck.
Right.
Because, one, I'll probably get sniped and lose it anyway. So now I've got repair time where I can go and do a 106 or 3 106s in that amount and manage trying to do the higher ones that got more segments, which are longer.
The good thing about the shipwrecks was they would drop chests.
Yeah, that is the good thing about it, yeah.
So
what were you getting from the chest? What were the
upgrade kits.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be able to upgrade. I got enough to upgrade my Corsair to a U3.
Okay.
I don't know when I'll have time to do it because it's gonna eat up my shipyard. But yeah, it's just kits to upgrade to make the ships better. So all those people that actually hit the shipwreck target and got the tokens. Their allies didn't get the tokens, but they did. They're going to have some pretty darn good ships. So it'll be harder next time.
Wonder why they didn't do the player replica bases. I found those much fairer.
There's only 2 bases I could hit without much damage, and that was the 82 and the 93. And they disappeared so fast.
Oh, yeah, the 82s, they didn't spawn very good, did they, for people?
They spawned, but they were gone within seconds.
Yeah, but they'd spawn like 5 or 6 at a time.
Right.
And then you wouldn't see them again.
Right.
For, a long time. That's what I'm saying. They'd spawn, but then they wouldn't spawn again for, in about an hour or something. Because I was obviously clicking on that thing all the time to go to my 106s, and I'd see 82s and then they'd be gone the next time I come out, and then I wouldn't see them again for, I don't know, say an hour. I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention.
The 86s weren't too awful bad. So when I couldn't find those 2, I went to the 86.
Yeah, I think I did 89s for a while too.
Maybe it was 89. I don't know. It was one of those that it took a little more damage, but
yeah. But when
the only thing I kind of liked about it, and being grindy, you knew what you were going into every time. I mean, it wasn't like
yeah.
Like
well, that's why I did the 106s. I knew exactly what I had to do and how to do it.
Once I learned how to do the 93s, it was like crap.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, I used to enjoy the shipwreck a lot. It was a lot of fun when it first started, but it's not fun anymore.
I only did it to get that armor, which I probably won't use.
You wanted to get what?
The armor that I didn't have.
Okay.
I think it's the rad 8 or something, some plate.
Okay, interceptor kit.
Well, I got enough to get the gun. I don't know if it's any good to turret.
So, besides the points that we just discussed, let's click one more time for potential players that didn't do anything. The Alliance leaderboard. So first prize, 30 days of upgrade tokens for your interceptor. Not bad. But then you have the steel plate upgrade tokens for 30, and then 40 days of build tokens, down to 20th, which is getting some amount for, in addition to the 1 million plus points that they also got.
Yeah.
And this is not even related to, besides, it's mostly related to PvE.
Right.
Which I find to be problematic. So,
see, what I see from that is you're talking about when you did these shipwrecks, you got kits, right? And in there you get upgrade tokens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you get the upgrade tokens, you need the kits to go with them.
Right.
And that's probably where I've gotten. Obviously I'm not in an alliance, so well, it doesn't matter about being in an alliance or not. I didn't do the shipwreck, so I didn't get any kits, but I got plenty of tokens now. So it sort of stuffs me up.
This is the Alliance leaderboard. Yeah, the individual.
Yeah, but it worked. Yeah, but the same in the personal one. You only get kits. You don't get. I mean, you get tokens. You don't get kits.
Yeah, but it was all interceptor based, wasn't it? Did you get anything for your silverfish?
No, it was interceptors upgrade tokens and T8 Conqueror upgrade tokens, 30 of each.
Yeah, the Alliance one gave. You didn't need to get the upgrade token from the steel plates from those kits. That wasn't in there. That you did great. And then the silverfish build tokens, also not related. So it felt like an awful lot for a group that was already given a lot. This felt just like more over the top to me as far
that
as
should actually be ran the other way. The personal ones should have got that.
Yeah,
because they're grinding. If they're not, they're more grindy.
Yeah, they're actually doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if they were hitting the alliance points, those points went into their personal account, not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there was probably easier ways to get individual points than hitting like an A4 shipwreck.
Right.
Because for that person, but if they wanted to give to their alliance and the alliance helps and whatnot. So yeah, it just felt like, these are already large groups that have communication, teamwork, all these other things going for them. And now they just keep on giving them more and more and more. And, some people just don't want to join alliances.
I can't wait for a level 50 from one of the big alliances leveling my 120 base. It's just so fun.
Well, they didn't give them anything to do that. The only thing they could do is hit your guard fleet with their interceptors, but they didn't give them anything to do that with.
Okay, let me rephrase. They hit level.
I know what he's trying to say, though.
Yeah, but I'll reverse it. I go into their base and they've got 1 million of these defender fleets, and I get wiped out by a level 60 base.
Well, you can't
anyway because he can't hit you. Because it's a level 60.
yeah. I mean, the thing that could happen is if you hit a base and then you get sniped by a level 43 coming out of that base. If you hit that base and snipes your conqueror fleets, so that could happen. Because I don't know. I don't even know to get 3. I don't even know what the weight of 3 interceptors is relative to the dock side. I don't even know.
You've got to have your dock's got to be pretty well upgraded the whole way, or else you can only have 1
interceptor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't never even paid attention to the weight of the interceptors. To be
Which
honest.
means you've got to have your OP fully upgraded as well to get your ops
They give them
dock
tokens for
fully
that
upgraded.
too.
Yeah, probably give you tokens for that too. Yeah.
I did. They had all a bunch of base upgrade like shipyard.
Oh yeah, they did.
You're not talking about the alliance leaderboards. You're talking about the free points. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just click, 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 and historically, if you didn't pay resources for something, that is an interesting point. I'm not sure if that's what you meant to make, but a lot of times if you like base race, and back in the day when people would just not start an upgrade and then speed it up, but just pay for the upgrade completely with gold, it didn't count towards you leveling up.
Yeah.
As far as because you never spent resources. So probably a lot of those base upgrades that were given didn't count towards VX or X experience points on the base. And so they probably didn't level up from claiming any of those things. They probably remained at whatever level they were prior.
That's not what I was talking about, but it makes it feel even worse.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm going to be sniped and
We're here
leveled.
to please.
Oh,
So
God.
I don't get it. I really it makes several of the top alliances happy, but
Have they maybe their AI or that program they keep talking about told them that all the big alliances are the big spenders, and maybe they think big alliances are the thing they want to promote the most? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, like you said.
Yeah, I mean it's pissing off a large part of the community that's not in one of those top, in this instance, top 20 or top 15 alliances. And it doesn't take any real skill in the game to join an alliance. You can just join, if they want you or not, for one, if you're friends with somebody, it doesn't really, if you're friends with somebody outside, there's not really anything game related associated with this. And it seems to be rewarded in such a manner that just seems to not make that much sense relative to it, but whatever, it's their decision. I just think they're pissing off a lot of players that don't want to be in an alliance, or or don't want to be in a big alliance just because of drama and nonsense and whatnot. It just seems like I don't mind them getting something, but it just feels like they're getting way too much.
And I'm not used to being locked out of something and not being able to get even the next interceptor with the points that I had in reach. Just made me feel like I've been locked out of the game after all these years.
Yeah, me too. I felt the exact same way. Remember when when we got a message that was it Shipwrecks that was gonna start, or something was gonna start, but every time you clicked on it, you got permission denied because the data wasn't there yet on the Kickstarter site. You don't remember. Anyway, because they hadn't done the update notes yet, but they put the link out for the update notes.
Mm-hmm.
You click on it and you'd see permission denied. And that's sort of how it was a metaphor to me for this game. I felt like I'm being denied.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in one of the top 20 alliances. I'm in a good alliance. We just can't compete. And I can't spend the coin. I have a mortgage. I have bills. And I have to find balance somewhere. But there's no balance in this game.
Well, with this, I don't know if I want to generally say it about the game, but about the way that they're structuring the shipwreck events. It just seems to be off, and they just keep on continuing to do it that way. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure much else to say about it. They knew the players were outraged the first time they did it. They made some minor little tweaks here and there, but they didn't. I don't think they made enough movement.
I hope that's the TV and not somebody being killed in the background there.
No, I think it's the big one.
Well,
That's not either.
it's it appears that Aussie's kids in the 21st level alliance and just not happy about the payouts that he or she got on the leaderboard.
Yeah, sorry. The baby's down the other end of the house now. It's not in
She-
the same room. And I
she-
put my headphones on and I could only just hear it. And I thought, hang on a minute, if I can only just hear it, maybe it's coming through the microphone, so I better mute it. And then as I muted it, you said about the baby being killed.
yes. So yeah. She's a loud one. We know
Yeah,
that.
he's not happy. He's getting changed.
I actually
Somebody get changed.
I think I sounded a bit like that on Sunday when I realized I wasn't going to get my interceptor. I was like, I'm halfway there, and then they brought the alliance targets down to 5 per world for a while, and 3 alliances held all 5 of them. I'm like, how is anybody else going to get any points? And the personal ones had 3 ships around them, so it's like they deliberately brought down the number of targets for a period of time.
The alliances were helping the personal targets, which is great, but that made it that much harder to do shipwrecks. You had big alliances that had enough players that could do that.
Yeah, because the alliance leaderboard points included, the alliance shipwreck targets, the personal shipwreck targets, and the outpost targets. So all 3 were included in that total. So there was motivation for them to hit all of them. So.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I was wondering why, when I was hitting personal targets, big alliances were hitting those too. I'm like, come on, guys, you're just being greedy now.
But those points applied to their leaderboard.
I didn't know that. I thought they fixed that so the personal ones only went on the personal.
The personal, the personal ones only went on the personal. That's true. But the personal ones, not only. What the alliance ones didn't go on the personal leaderboard, but the personal ones went everywhere, and the outposts went everywhere. So it's if you take a look at the alliance leaderboard, you don't really have an idea of how many of those were alliance points and how much of it was individual points. And so I only have stories of people complaining about I have too many points. I can't even spend all the points I have from the larger alliances. So, it's.
And they did add prizes in the middle of it. They didn't announce that they added prizes.
Oh, they don't announce anything anymore. They didn't even announce the change to the hydrofoil.
Yeah, they still haven't done that.
Yeah, and I don't think they've announced the change in the raid. The raid date.
I'm still looking for that.
Yeah.
So only if you just happen to catch it on Discord do you know these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you watch the show, that's the other way to figure it out. I don't know. Do we have anything more on shipwrecks? Or we still haven't got the CM diary. If you guys have more to talk about, that's great. I mean, because I think the only 2 slides I have left are related to the GLCs, which are not too exciting.
The only thing I want to add is I figured out why I was being attacked in the fog. You have the TLC that's out there right now. Like, as soon as you start, one of them was hitting me in the fog. Even the big ship went straight at me, and I couldn't figure out why. They've started some of the subs inside the fog that are not triggered. They're just sitting there in the fog untriggered. So if you don't hit them first, everything else can see you.
Yeah, we saw that we saw a target like that. I forget the number.
Raid.
Yeah,
but it was triggered outside the fog and traveled through the fog to get to you, and then all of a sudden they could see you. These ones are parked untriggered inside the fog. That's dastardly.
Yeah. Are they new targets?
Yeah, they're all brand new. Every one of them is a little different than what I've seen before.
Okay. And I guess you haven't gone through them all enough to let us know, are they do you need to have Saturns? I guess that's the question.
Yeah. Well, I only have Saturn, so I can't answer whether.
Oh, okay.
But I went through the first round of the four rounds of the first go round without too much trouble.
Okay.
Just like 3 hours damage, but still.
Okay. Alrighty. And this is which one? The pieces of 8 or a toll for the ferryman?
I knew you were going to ask that.
One of them. Okay.
One of them. Just
they might be the same targets. I don't know.
It was the ferryman.
Okay. All right. And as we go through this, it's a toll for the ferryman and pieces of 8, which I'm assuming they did this intentionally, just to let us know that we're supposed to coin them.
I know they did this intentionally. All the points I got, that hard-earned points I just got in that last event, they're sitting here easy as pie to get in 20 minutes. So I spent hours and hours getting like this Carnage and its toys, and now they're practically free. I'm like, oh, you just really get under my skin there.
Yeah, but you have Saturns with the U3 rock ring and whatnot, which maybe certain people don't have. So yeah, it's hard to tell. But yeah, that whole economy, the prize cost economy, they probably got it right, but it was so inflated with the alliance points relative to what people could get individually. It was just ridiculous. But here's a toll for the but just so you know, a toll for the ferryman is always a gold coin underneath your tongue, and pieces of 8 is a Spanish gold coin as well. Just so you know that you're supposed to be coining these is the way I read it. So basically in the first level you're going to be getting the weapons and some VXP for the Gorgon and the Carnage, and then in the second one you get the specials for each one, even though I think advanced optical tracking's been out for a long time. We just didn't get anything, but they just tossed that in there. And then prize pack 3, you actually get the hulls and some build tokens. An assault battery. It's questionable. I don't know why that got thrown in there. Anybody got? I guess it could be useful on the Gorgon. I actually use it in my Gorgon build. Even though it's never going to get fired at by turrets, but I use it in my build to increase the pen damage that my ships do, and I also don't go purely with the Fidian missile. I go with the Medusa mixed in there because the salvo differences really increases the damage versus deflection, but it has some weird range stuff that you should look at. And then we have the Mastery Prize, which is more tokens and VXP. And Aussie's little buddy seems much happier than he was before. Is he wearing a tie and suspenders? Where is he? Where is he going?
We can't see him. It's not fair.
Hang on.
Yeah, you can.
In my little square.
No, I'm on present.
Yeah, he's much happier now.
Yeah. I mean,
he's got a little tie on, little suspenders.
Okay.
He's only 6 months old.
Where's he going?
He's going daycare.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite the dapper outfit for
He's going to go to one of those upschool daycares where wear a tie and get college education for free.
I reported it yesterday. I said I'll send him to daycare in that. See what it looks like. They'll laugh.
Yes, he seems much happier. Maybe he was whining about the outfit. I'm not sure, but
yeah, well, he just got up.
He looks good in it. So
thank you. All right.
And all right, let's go for pieces of 8. This one is for your silverfish, the weapon, a build token, and we assume, and this much storied hydrofoil plating too. And then again, you get more build tokens. A lot of people are done with this, and they don't even really know how to spend their generic tokens because we're not really sure what direction we're going at this point. So it is an interesting time to put this out. People might have liked this to come out earlier. Any thoughts, anybody?
Yeah, well, no good to me. I won't be doing it because I've got everything. They're already upgraded. They're built, and I think I've got a few left over build tokens. So
I might.
Why didn't they put the upgrade, or what are they called? The ones that speed up the upgrades. That would have been very welcome.
The upgrade tokens.
Upgrade tokens.
Yeah, because people would have wanted those.
Yeah, that's the first thing I looked for because I'm in the middle of an upgrade. But if I don't have tokens, and I don't think I have enough, then I'll go for the tokens as insurance, so that if I do need to change my build, that I have some.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is these are good to have in your back pocket.
Yeah. I think I got tokens from one of the other events we did. I got a whole bunch of them. So I got a bunch left over.
Okay. This is our last slide. I'm going to post the link in the right-hand side in case anybody would like to join the live show, or this will also work for the after show. And we'll try to keep it live for a couple minutes, just in case the CM diary drops. So if you guys want to drop in and have any comments on anything or questions, you're welcome to it. Otherwise we gotta babble for a couple minutes just in case they decided to drop the CM diary 5 minutes after the show was supposed to end. So is that the last one, Lady Cat? Just want to make sure.
Yep. And if they're listening to the show, then they'll just wait for you to end.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but hey, Ben. Hey, Jordy. How you guys doing?
Hey, guys. Good, you?
Oh, pretty good. Whatever. You heard it. I've been talking for an hour, so yeah.
Hello, Hefe. Hello, all.
Hey, Jordy. So, how did the shipwreck treat you? We know how Jordy went. Jordy's went well. How did you guys? Does your alliance all love you at this point, Jordy?
Yeah, they got 806,000 points, predominantly off my efforts, not all off my efforts, but predominantly.
And what place did you guys fit in the alliance leaderboard?
54th.
54th, and they got 800,000.
They got 806,000 each. Yeah.
Okay.
I finished.
It's worse. It's worse than I thought. I mean, no, it's great for you. I'm just saying, as far as what I've been talking about for a while, that okay.
Yeah, but whatever you're talking about affects what I class as a small alliance. We're 56 in number total. That's including all the inactives, people who didn't log on but were inactive, but aren't ordinarily inactive for a whole week.
But you said you were like 54th on the leaderboard?
54th, and there was only me seriously doing it every day.
Yeah.
The rest were picking away at outposts, and latterly a few tried some shipwrecks and got the hang of it.
How much coins did you spend?
I spent about 650 gold. Right, that was, but what happened there was I had 400 odd gold from tickets. I got stuck into it, started getting points. I told one of my ally mates my goal was to get 200,000 so everybody in the alliance could get the turret. I got that in the first day, and he said, the boss is doing this. If you want to help him, send him some gold. So 8 or 9 of them sent 50 or 100 gold, which allowed me to plod on doing it, while those that were doing it accrued some of their own points on the side. But, you know,
he's a mercenary.
Well, it's kind of, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you affect the alliance score, yes, it brings it down at the top end, but that cascades down through everybody. It doesn't improve the situation throughout the game. I'm not saying Shipwreck is anywhere near perfect, but if you affect the economy at the top, that cascades all the way down. So you're only affecting those allies that are trying it. And the point of it is while it is an alliance event and people can benefit other people in the alliance, the key factor is coin. It's no different to any other aspect. It's just mandatory in this. There is no way you're coming out of a target or defending a target, apart from the very minute occasion when you get an absolute clown who doesn't know what they're doing or they crash.
Right.
Otherwise, you're taking damage, and then you've got a coin to defend it. The glitch occurred more this time than the first time, but it's still there. And matey that went off to be head of product gave me his assurance that was looked at it and sorted in the very first event. I've got that on a PM from him in Discord, and it hasn't been. But it's only about coining. FA, getting the number 100 has to stop. There's no alliance where 100 people are doing it. I was taking on targets against alliances where there was 10 people sat around defending it. You know, 1 in 9 sat around, and I'm doing it on my own, and I was beating them off. But it took coin. I didn't take anybody else with me. The big alliances are all drawn into having a fight in the red area. You know, even I've got, I think it was not Robot. Wrong Thinker replied to one of my messages saying, "Oh, the tactic is just to jump in on the last minute." No, the tactic's to get there early, get under the target, and not be able to be hit. That's what I've done consistently from the first one. You know, very few people can catch it. If they've got ad blocker on, there's a higher chance, but then they can't jump in the target if it becomes vacant. So you know, you can divide the amount of people in an alliance that are actively doing it probably by half, and then for the amount that are on. But on the other hand, I was holding an alliance target, holding a personal target, and autoing 82s or 88s while I was in target. The 82s, incidentally, that you spoke about earlier, they were spawning regularly, but people were on them so quick it was unbelievable. I think I picked up more of those where other people were autoing them and then got busy and the fleet hadn't finished it so you could finish it off than I did catch them in the first place. The 88s, though, you could auto those, sort of 10 of those if you had some U3 breaches, certainly. U1s would do it, and U0s, but U3 definitely. You could auto 10 of those, no bother, go back to the base, 2 hours repair.
U3 breachers exist?
Sorry?
U3 breachers exist?
Sorry, U2
Sure.
I'm getting confused. I'm old in this late.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was some shot at the Irish, and you didn't want to say U2. I didn't know what was going on there.
No, so I mean, I understand I understand the imbalance, but you also can't structure the game on, right, we need this fairer for people who don't want to be in a big alliance, don't want to do the seat time, and don't want the coin. How far down are you dragging the game there? I understand the element that the coin pressure is horrendous to achieving it. But essentially, the bottom map target paid out more points than either the P1 or the A1 segmental payouts. You had to hold it right till the end to get an equivalent target.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at the leaderboard data you know, the fact that Aussie was 4th globally and still couldn't afford the just the new prizes.
Yeah. Well, I was nowhere near that globally, and then on the last day, I started hitting a few of the P4s
Mm-hmm.
because I thought, oh well, I'm within spitting distance of being able to get an extra 5 tokens. I'll do one of those,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that boosted me up in no time because you're getting 5,000 every 5 minutes, and then 8,000 for the last phase.
Mm-hmm.
So you rock it with that, and if you're double stacking, and to be honest, there was less people. It can be selective in world. If you're getting dominated in a world, jump when you can.
Mm-hmm.
Some worlds, you know, P targets weren't even being contested. And I did on one occasion. I got attacked by 2 people in a row. Because I was defending an alliance target, I was like, well, you know, the P targets brought me 2 redemption, two payouts in. I'll lose out on the 3rd one. I was defending the ally target. At the end, the 3rd one paid out. 2 guys had hit me and lost to my fleet on auto. And to top it off, at no point in time on my main fleet was I using any upgraded interceptor, and nor was I was only using one of the one bloodthirster from the 2nd day I used, one strider and one corsair, and that combination worked really well for me. It's a lot of it's about technique and envisaging the battle, if you see what I mean, and wherever you've got to anticipate where people are going to move and know how your ships are going to move. But in general, I found 3 of the same ship was the easiest to beat, unless it was the Striders and they were driven well. Combination fleets driven well were pretty damn good. I'm not going to say much more than that because people have cottoned on to the getting under the base and what have you. There's a few other things I do that not everybody's doing yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say that out loud to affect my chances and increase my spend if I've got any gold next time.
Yeah.
But it's you know, if you say the top alliances are communicating better, right? They can't be doing it, can they? Because if they've got too many alliance points, but then you look at the alliance leaderboard versus how many of those alliance from the leaderboard are in the top 20 on the personal board, they didn't swap over to benefit from that at any time. They kept on hammering the alliance points, if anything.
Okay.
So that would have still given them alliance points, but they'd have been better in the what you call it. I mean, there's 2 of the top 20 or in the personal or non-tagged, and there's not many of the big alliances in the personal. Not what I recognise as the big alliances.
Oh, wait, how many? If you still have the, what was the alliance points? I forgot to take a screenshot of the number 1 alliance.
I don't know. Sorry.
Was it like 6 million?
It could well have been, yeah.
I thought it was somewhere around there, because that works out to like 60,000 a player, which isn't really participating. So I don't know.
Yeah, but then I mean, you get SDS7 were in our sector, and I fought them a few times, and some of their guys by the 2nd, 3rd day weren't even on the top 100, but by the 4th day they were because they'd got the new ships that the alliance had won them, used their tokens and or coined, and we're out there competing, and we're moving up the personal leaderboard. So
or bought them for $39.99.
Yeah, or bought them, but they, at the end of the day, they didn't get that high on the personal leaderboard, but they benefited from the alliance side. But you can't really change the whole structure because somebody doesn't want to be an alliance. Somebody does. The same person doesn't want the coin,
Well,
and
change,
the same person doesn't want the grind.
It's not
Sorry?
to change. It's not change. They created this structure, and the players didn't like it, and then they sort of changed it. And
But which players didn't like it? I mean, it didn't bother me.
if you got on Discord, there was a lot of players.
Yeah, but we all know how tiny a representation of the player base Discord is.
What's the better way to judge it?
Well, I don't think just those that are vocal about it is the way to judge it. It's being judged by the amount of money spent on it, and that's the root problem of everything in the game. You know, targets take longer to put time restraints on. Your damages are up to put time restraints on, so the pressure's up to coin. So the base root of it is the requirement to coin. Other problems can be looked at and are certainly there, but the root problem is the requirement to coin. And while it seems like a cheap fleet at 3 per repair, when you're fighting 9 battles for an A4 or a P4, and you could be getting hit 2 or 3 times per 5-minute segment, it's no cheaper than running around, you know, getting your base at 75% damaged and coining it, because you're still up at 9, 12 coins a time, aren't you?
What did you weren't on, or maybe we discussed this on Friday. What was your thought on my idea that or proposal that the winner of this battle automatically, it seems to fix a couple problems, that the winner of the battle automatically instant repairs?
Do you know what? As much as I hate coining and it hurts me, I'm a tight northern bastard. We're renowned for not liking to spend our money. I would even accept, because it's so wrong now, I would accept a 1 coin charge for automatic repair, or even 2 coin, which is probably about average.
There's also that. Well, 2 coin is the maximum. If you've
three coins the maximum.
Well, 2 coins is the max.
Yes, to win. Sorry.
If you have 1 level of research done in your Intel lab.
Yeah, but I didn't at the start of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, but
the point is, right? 1 gold. I would take a 1 gold charge to guarantee that when I won a battle, I was still in the target and able to fight. I don't. You know, there's no fun in watching a bar on the right-hand side glow. You don't even get the benefit of being able to view your own ships getting a smeggy. You know, you just have to sit there and wait. And if you're stubborn like I am as well, coin and go back at it again. You know, and it just doesn't feel like
it just doesn't feel like you win if you got to pay as much as the loser.
No, well, the loser, if they haven't done the things, paying 3. I saw a few people running around with grease monkey crews on, so they were only paying 1 at most. But it's the not being able to play that's the bigger issue to me than the coin. I'd rather get a free repair out of it. But if they're not going to do that, I also said to you when you spoke about it last time, then you need, if you win, you should have if Wrong Thinker is recommending that the tactic is to jump in at the end, yeah. Whether that be the end of the whole target or the end of each segment. If people are going to bombard you, then you should get a segment of a percentage of that payout for each successful defense, so they get less of it. Because there were people, certain alliances, that were sending people in that didn't have the skill or quality of fleet just to do damage and die, so that their next guy could jump in and beat you. and hold the target at the end if they timed it right.
And I did see, and I thought it was weird. I did run across some, looking at some targets where within the red ring, I forget what it's called, that I saw one person had 10 PVE ships, fleets, 10 PVE fleets inside of that ring.
Yeah.
Do you understand the reason behind that? PVE
No, no,
Okay.
I don't understand. Well,
Okay.
I don't understand why people were bringing megas either, other than to hide under.
I believe it was to try to block them clicking on your fleet. If they put enough over it, you might not be able to click on the interceptor.
There's a method for that anyway, Ben. I think I explained it to Lady Cat in the after show, and it works 99.9% of the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, does anybody have any inputs on the news TLCs? I know, Jeff, are you still working away on those?
Yeah, they're okay.
Okay.
I'm almost done the second round, and unfortunately, unlike the raid where you get to try them and learn things, you don't get a lot of chance to learn these. But if you have to go to all the fogs and clear out all the orange, the ones that get only launch when they're when they have the purple towers lit or hit.
Yeah.
And then you normally can pop them. You have to go around and make sure you pop them all because they're being the spies for everybody else. Is they spawn them inside the fog, so that means everybody sees everything.
And another thing, you see the fog and it has those flags in the middle of it. Is that in this instance, is that fog body considered? There might be like 6 or 7 of them linked together.
They act like they're linked together. Yes.
Okay, they are. Okay, so all those different fog bodies are linked together in one.
Yeah. Which is kind of, I don't understand the physics of it. Don't care, because ever since Harry Potter ships, there's no physics in the game. But why a ship in a fog, the other side of the board, helps the people beside you all of a sudden see you in your fog? It must be another dimension. If anybody's ever watched Stranger Things, it must be in the underworld or something, and they can see you now.
The last raid series, they were doing that and putting the ships in the fogs, and there was one of the targets where you started off and there was a ship to your northeast and behind you, so till you zoomed out you couldn't see that it was in the fog, and they are annotated on the map usually, and then you've just got to look at the connectivity of the fogs. But it's not a new tactic, them hiding a ship in the fog, so that when you go to try and outskirt to get to a tower, that it then spots you and activates everything.
Yeah, it was the first for me on spawning time, meaning that the mothership that's coming after you at the very beginning, whatever it's called, I forget its name all the time, it doesn't see you. And it turns around. You're in the fog, and they turn around, so they don't see you there. But there is that little green arrow that you were mentioning, and it's basically, once I get close enough, I'm going to see you. It doesn't even matter what you do, unless you go kill all the ships that are. There's now 8 ships sitting in the various fogs, and of course they're all protected by various things, so you can't clear them out.
What does everybody think? Are we going to wait out Kixeye and the CM Diary, or should we end the live show at this point? Now it's just merely a battle of wills. I know Jordy says we're going to wait them out. We're going to win this one. But, how does everybody else feel on this one?
It could be tomorrow.
Well, I didn't put a time limit on it.
Well,
let's go off air and come back every 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's a technical issues. I would have to restart a new show each time in order to do that.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's that's what I was thinking of. Like, but I got that we put like some music videos up, and here's our intermission. We'll come back 20 minutes later. I don't know. Jordy, do can you sing? No.
No, but my feet hum.
Well, I'm not sure that's a good thing. So, if nobody's up for waiting them out, I'm gonna suggest that we proceed to the after show, and I'll put the link in the right hand side, and unless anybody has any final words.
Night, everyone.
Later, people.
Good night.
Good night.
See y'all on Friday.
Enjoy your off week.
It might be an off week.